Good evening, everyone. I am sorry for the delay in start. We had some technical problems. I am Prithvi Singh from the batch of 1990. It is my privilege to present to you part 2 of the Mayo Culinary Genius program. This is being brought to you by Mayo College and Mayo College Old Boys Society. Idea of starting this series of presentation is to connect alumni through medium of gastronomy. Today we have multi-talented Devratan Singh, batch of 2011. He will be talking about his take on Lal Mas in a handi. Moderator of the show is Veer Vijay Singh Ji Dunlod, 1971 batch, hospitality veteran. He has spent 40 years in the hospitality industry. He was the COO of Devanta by Taj. Now he has a hospitality consultancy company. During the show, I request him to tell us something about his company as well. Anyone has any questions from Veer Vijay Singh Ji or Devratna may write to us in the comment section. We will be happy to take them up at the end of the show. Over to you, Veer Vijay Singh Ji, and very happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much, Prithvi. I really appreciate your introduction. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be associated with Mayo College as an old boy and alumni. So it's wonderful to be here. And I think this show is slowly but steadily picking up, I would say, a lot of people who are showing interest. And I'm sure today with Divya Ratna, also it will be a show which people would really like to learn from. Talking about, thank you also for your wishes. Sorry for being a little late in connection because of technical problems. But talking about my company, as Prithvi mentioned, I have been with the Taj for over 40 years. And the last 5 years, I have been doing my own. We have a company known as Trans International Hotels and Resorts Private Limited. It's a hotel management company, and we are, I would say, in a niche of managing hotels of 3-star and 4-star category. And we're also getting into heritage properties. So I'm now based in Jaipur. I also do consultancy. So if there are owners who would like to build hotels, or there are owners who want to know what kind of concept, how to take the project, what should be the financial, what should be the way to do sales and marketing, how to run the property. I'm also doing management, and I have, of course, 2 of my sons with me. One of them was in Mayo. He was only there for a year in Noman House, but the other one has done hotel management from Lausanne, and he was in 4 Seasons. And we have a good group of professionals from the Taj, Oberoi, ITC, and other companies supporting us in sales and marketing functions, project, interiors, operations, housekeeping, engineering, and so on. So it will be a pleasure to be associated with anybody who would like to, take our services or our consultancy. But leaving that apart, that's very kind of you to let me talk about my company. But leaving that apart, I think today our most important thing is to see our master chef today is Divya Ratna Singh. And so welcome, Divya Ratna.
Thank you so much for having me over the show. It's always been a pleasure to be a part of Mayo. And wishing you a very happy birthday, Okum.
Thank you, Divya Ratna. So I think we are seeing you today cooking a very, very, I would say, well-known dish all over Rajasthan, all over India. And so you're doing Lal Mas today. So would you like to give us a little brief? Why have you picked up Lal Mas, and how did you really pick up the interest in cooking? So let's start right on with Divya Ratna, and let's get going.
Absolutely. So I chose Lal Mas, I think, because it is one of the most controversial dishes of Rajasthan, that everybody comes and it's like the butter chicken of Rajasthan. Everybody wants to have Lal Mas, but there is no authentic Lal Mas to go to. Everybody, I have so many friends coming in and they would be like, I'm in Jaipur, where should I go to have Lal Mas? Authentic Lal Mas. And my only answer is there is no authentic Lal Mas. Every family, every house has their own recipe. And if anybody is claiming that the Lal Mas is authentic, I think they're just fibbing about it. because it's a very personal touch. Everybody has their own way of doing it, and I've done my own take on lal mas, which is very different from the traditional way of doing it. So yeah,
Wonderful.
and
So I think I think I'll just take a minute here, and I think
no,
you have answered it very well. That there are some very special dishes. I think like lal mas is one of them.
okay,
Or say a biryani is another one,
absolutely,
or a soheta, or a sule, or typical butter chicken, or chicken tikka makhani. These dishes, and I think each one of them, there is no one authentic way of cooking them. And each family used to have the traditional recipes, as you mentioned. And so each family had its own style. And when you went to different homes, you saw or you tasted something which was very different, but it was very unique and special to that particular family. So
absolutely,
yeah, so
absolutely.
the lal mas that you are cooking is something that comes from Masuda, or where did you really pick it up from? Could you give us a little brief about that particular lal mas that you are making?
Absolutely. So it was, I picked it up from my father, and then I changed the recipe a bit to make it easier for everyone. And I especially did this recipes for the show. So it's very easy for people to make it at home. And it's not a cumbersome recipe. It's like very simple. You have to put all the masalas together and just cook it. So there's no timing of which masala to put when and what to do when. It's basically
Yeah,
for all the amateur people who want to get into cooking and they
yeah.
want to do a
So
lal mas.
I was saying, Devaratna, I'm extremely an amateur, and to really, the way you really do it and you say and you have shown the recipe, I think it looks so simple. But other than that, I mean, I would like you to. There are some very unique things. I mean, if I try, I've not even really tried to be. I was a chef for a few months, but I've never tried cooking at home. But even if I had to try and make this lal mas, I think I will really think so many times before making it. But tell me something about the mutton. I mean, if you can, before we start, why don't you tell me, is the mutton quality in Rajasthan far superior to other parts of India? And why is it
It
so if it is?
It is actually the mutton we get in Rajasthan is one of the best quality of mutton because I think the feed of the goats and also in Rajasthan few pockets have the best quality meats that you get. Like the most famous goats are either from the place called Bhim because that is all a rocky terrain, hilly area, and very less green fodder to eat. So the meat is very lean and doesn't smell at all. And then the goats from the western side of Rajasthan, that is Jaisalmer, Shekhawati, those are very famous. And the goats from the Bhim area are all sent to Bombay, and they fetch a very high price.
Great. So I think, as I used to hear, the Rajasthani goats, as you rightly said, they are special because A, they're lean, B, there is not much, there's not any bad odor or smell, and C, and this all happens because of the kind of feeding that they grow on, the grazing that they do, the kind of,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely,
so that's very interesting. That's very interesting. So you use, of course, meat, of course, from Rajasthan,
absolutely.
and
And
then,
also, like talking about mutton, all over India you do not get goats. Like if you go down south, you go towards Hyderabad, where you're there mostly, you get mostly sheep, lamb. Mutton is
yeah.
very difficult to find. Only up north is where we have the craze for eating mutton.
Very well said. And I think a lot of people get mixed up and they say that, when we see a Western menu, we mostly see the word lamb. And I
Absolutely,
think lamb is used for the sheep. It is not for the
absolutely.
goat. So,
Yes.
so it's, I think, very well explained. So you take good quality mutton from Rajasthan. The second thing which I'm very inquisitive to know is about what is the chili that you use. And I know there's much talked about the Mathania chili, but if you can tell us what is the chili that you use and why do you use that?
So chili again, Mathania is like lal mas. It's become very how do I put it? Like the most known thing. But ironically, in Mathania there are no chilies grown anymore. It's around Mathania that they're growing chilies and they're selling it as Mathania, which are not half as good as what they used to be. Because this is my take of lal mas, as I said, and it's not the traditional way of doing it. I like to use chilies from Karnataka. They're called the Bayadgi chilies. They have a
Okay.
very nice flavor to it, and they give a very nice color as well. And they're not very hot, so they give a very nice flavor.
Okay. So, so in the chili, I think a couple of things are there. One is the color. second is the flavor, and third is the spice, the sharpness. So you feel that you rather use a chili from Karnataka, which gives you a wonderful color and flavor, but it's not very sharp. So, but
Absolutely.
what do you do to increase the chili quotient in the lal mas?
For that, I've used the green chilies to
Okay.
increase the sharpness of the dish.
And the second, third thing, or maybe the third thing I wanted to know is, you cook it in ghee, or you cook it in some other oil, mustard, or
I feel that they say that every ingredient has its own tasir. So ghee has a tasir of being very warm. So it is preferred in the winter months, and if you're cooking it in summers, I prefer using mustard oil. So mustard oil
okay.
is relatively a cooler ingredient to use. It's lighter on the stomach during summers and the hot months.
Okay, great. And then the cooking vessel that you normally use. I remember when I was in Hyderabad, what was very interesting was that the biryani was always cooked in a deg, and the deg was a very big bottom vessel with a very small neck. And the reason it was made that way was that it helped you to do the dum cooking. And so the
Absolutely.
biryani could get the dum cooking very well. Whereas the curries were made in lagans, which had a very big mouth, and they did not want the dum to be done. So what is the vessel that normally you use?
I prefer a dekchi only, okay, because it's
Okay,
easier to handle. Lagan gets a
sure.
little typical for use to everybody because it's a very wide dish, and getting the meat cooked properly. Lagan is better if you're cooking on open fire, because then the heat is spread evenly, or if you're cooking it on a sigdi. But if you're doing it on a gas, then a dekchi or something is better. The heat is distributed evenly over the meat.
And before we start the dish, the last question I wanted to really ask you is the marination that you do, especially for making the meat more tender. Is there something that you especially use, like papaya or some kachri, anything particular?
No, not really. When I'm doing the lal mas, I don't use any tenderizers. Also, because our mutton quality is so good here, you don't need to use tenderizers. It's absolutely tender. It doesn't take long to cook. And also, whenever I'm picking up meat, I prefer to get goats which are not more than 10 to 12 kgs, so that they have the
Okay.
best flavor, and the fiber is very small, so it's tender to cook.
Another very, very interesting tip, do not take a large goat, take something which is 10 to 12 kgs, so you get the right size and your meat is more tender. Great. Thank you so much, Devratna. So can we have a look at your recipe that you have made, the video, and then maybe ask further questions to you after that?
Absolutely, okay. Hello everyone, this is Divyaratna Singh from the batch of 2011. I'd like to thank the Olberg Society for inviting me for this webinar. To begin with, I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm a national level shooter and I've been shooting trap for the last 10 years. Besides this, I'm a keen motorsports enthusiast and I'm an amateur Rajesh. Food has always been a passion for me and I started cooking when I was still at Mayo. And when it comes to food, my father has always been my biggest inspiration. I started cooking just because of him. And he also happens to be a Mayoite, Vikramaditya Singh, from the batch of 84. When it comes to food, I like to experiment with recipes and yet keep it very simple. So today I'm going to show you my take on lal mas, which is going to be a very, very simple recipe and everybody at home can try it. Lal mas is synonymous to Rajasthan and there is no such thing as authentic lal mas. Every house has their own version of lal mas and each recipe is so different yet tastes quite similar. So this is my take on lal mas. So firstly we will marinate the meat in salt and lemon juice. Meanwhile we will prepare our masala. For the masala we need onions, garlic, green chilies, coriander and whole red chilies. We will grind them all to a fine paste and add it to the marinated meat
and let it sit for half an hour at least. Now we will heat mustard oil till it starts smoking. Add the meat along with the marinade and stir it immediately and just make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. Cook on a high flame till the liquids reduce. Bruno it well. Keep adding a little water to deglaze the bottom of your cooking vessel. Once the liquids have reduced and the oil starts to come up, we need to start brunoing it very well. We need to keep adding a little bit of water to deglaze the bottom of your cooking vessel, and that adds to all the flavor. Once brunoed, add some water, bring it to a boil. Now we will put it on dum and on a low flame for at least 25 minutes. All in all, it's just going to take an hour and a half for you to make this recipe at home. It's simple and it's very easy. Lal mas is always supposed to have a distinct flavor of garlic, and I myself love a lot of garlic, so there's always a little extra garlic in all my recipes. I always love to cook in a dekchi because it's much more easier and convenient to use, and also it is the traditional way of doing it. Another benefit of using a dekchi is that the masala doesn't stick on the side like it does in a pressure cooker. Add the water according to the consistency of the gravy you will like. I personally like lal mas I make with a little thicker gravy, but it is all up to you. You can add as much water as you want as per the consistency you like. I hope you like the recipe. For more recipes, you can follow me on Instagram.
I must say that looked very, very simple, Devaratna.
Thank you.
Very, very, very well made. In fact, somebody like me who I think have shivers while cooking, I'm going to surely try this out. There were a couple of things I noticed, and I just wanted to ask you. One, of course, is that normally people are putting either kachri or dahi, yogurt in this mutton, whereas you are putting lemon juice. So does it make much of a difference in the taste?
It does make a difference because when you're using lemon juice, it gives a little sharper taste on the sourness. So it gives a little tanginess more than the curd or if you use kachri. So that's a very personal preference, Sokum. So it's not.
Sure. And second thing I think I noticed is that you kind of mix up everything together and you put it in a mixer and you mix that and then you marinate the mutton. Whereas other people normally take either ghee or mustard oil and they put the onions, they brown the onions and then they put the cloves and the garam masala and then slowly they put the mutton which is marinated in yogurt. But you have a little different style. But because it's a short and does it by any chance change the taste of the final recipe or it comes out as well?
It comes out as well, surprisingly, Okum. But like as you said, garam masala, I feel how much ever I've done my research on food in Rajasthan, traditionally there was no garam masala used in any of the Rajasthani dishes. It was a much later thing when the spices started coming up north. That is when they started using garam masalas and adding it to it. So traditionally, if you see most of our old recipes, none of them have garam masalas. Maximum they use is pepper. That is it.
I was told that some things like bay leaf and all are very, very, I would say, healthy because it cuts down the cholesterol of the mutton. So maybe this all started sometime later also. You may be right. A lot of these recipes kind of changed with time.
They did.
I think I remember I was discussing and I was seeing a question which was coming and I think Prithvi was very keen to know that you use the word bhuno very often. So what does exactly bhuno mean? It means what? To cook it more longer or?
Bhunoing it basically is like frying the meat. So letting all the oil out of the masalas and let the masalas cook and the chilies cook properly. If you don't bhuno it well, then the chili stay raw, and when you're eating, you get that rawness of the chili in your palate, which is not very, it's not very appetizing. So bhunoing is a very key step in making any of the Indian dishes, I feel, till the masala needs to get cooked properly. But most of the people, that is where they go wrong, is when they don't bhuno the meat or whatever they're cooking, the masala, the chili always stays raw. And the darkness of the color, as they say, for the lal mas, the redness of the meat is the more you bhuno it, the more red it gets. It's not because of the chili only. It's the technique that is.
And the way to know that it's enough done properly is when the oil starts kind of separating.
Oil completely separates from the masala. That is when you know that the masala is completely cooked.
And the gravy, as you said, I think that the thickness depends upon personal choices, and you could add a little extra water if you want to and make the gravy a little bit more thinner. Is that so? You can add more water if you want the gravy to be thinner?
Absolutely, you can. You can add a little bit water and cook it a little bit longer. So the water gets cooked with the masala and the flavor is not separated.
Great. Prithvi, is he there? If anybody would like to ask any more question, please, Prithvi.
We don't have any more questions, so maybe I just thank you everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed the program. Please do write to us if you have any feedbacks or suggestions at dejavu@mayoobs.com and obs@mayocollege.com. I request alumni who wish to share their recipes and take part in this program to write to us. Date and time of the next program we will let you know closer to the date. Now I wish to thank people without whose support this program would not have been possible. General Kulkarni, Director, Mayo College and his IT team, Colonel Bhavani, President, OBS, and of course, Veer Vijay Singh ji, who agreed to do the show on his birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. Thank you everyone. Again. Thank you everyone. See you soon.
Bye-bye, and thank you, Devaratna. Thank you, Prithvi. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for having me over. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajat, and bye-bye.
Thank you, Rajat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.